Welcome to the Recovering Perfectionist Podcast, where I empower you to develop sustainable habits, challenge society, and take messy action. I'm Christine, life balance coach and world champion ballroom dancer, and I believe that everyone has the power to create their very own life by design. The Recovering Perfectionist Podcast was created with a mission to encourage a life of abundance by finding peace and acceptance in our own imperfections and developing healthy self-love through sustainable habits and manifestation. It's time to align with the universe for the full human experience and redefine what it really means to be successful.
It's too good, the secret is out and wow.
Welcome back to the Recovering Perfectionist Podcast. It's been a minute, guys, since it's just been me on here. We've been having some incredible guests on season 6, and I hope you've been enjoying them. If you haven't heard them, go back and binge. But I thought it was time for me to pop on here and talk about something that I have been working on for the last year and a half that has absolutely changed my life, but it was a journey that has taken some time, and it's a journey I think a lot of people are starting to go on right now. And that is living a toxic-free, clean products lifestyle. It is kind of the trendy thing to do right now, going green in all of your products, clean beauty, health, and products all around your house. But I think that it's bigger than that for sure. It's not just a trendy topic. And I'm going to get into a little bit of why I decided to make these changes, what triggered that, and also what you're at risk if you don't. Not to scare you. This is not a fear-mongering episode by any means. I just love to give information, and honestly, I think that this journey is something that a lot of people want to go on, but it is extremely overwhelming because we have Google, and as much as Google is supposed to help, it can also be extremely just very overwhelming in the sense of how much information there is, as well as conflicting information. So it's like, if you don't know anything going into it, what do you listen to? So for those of you who are unsure of what this process entails, I just want to give you just a few tidbits of information. First of all, a lot of people have started going on this journey for requirement reasons. So whether it be doctor recommended or it just be something that they feel is the last resort because they have so many different health issues or things that doctors are not able to explain what is going on. And that includes things like fertility issues, I've seen skin rashes, allergies, and early signs of autoimmune disorders. And I believe that autoimmune disorders are like the new cancer. They are something that you live with I've not done a ton of research on autoimmune disorders, so please don't quote me on this, but things like lupus and Hashimoto's and all of these different things that people are starting to talk about openly, which I'm so glad we have a conversation around it that is beginning, but there needs to be much more conversation around it. And I believe that it is because of all of the crazy, ridiculous toxins and parabens and all these things that are being put around us, not just in our products, but that we're exposed to on a daily basis everywhere we go. These are what they call endocrine disruptors. And it is like the central nervous system of your body that is being disrupted by all of these toxic things that really should not be in the products that we're using, but they're used for, things to help make the products last longer or smell better or whatever it may be. And it's actually like slowly killing us. So, products with artificial fragrance. If you look at 90% of the products that you have in your bathroom, a lot of them will just say fragrance. And fragrance is such a very, very broad, general word that the FDA and all of these consumer product companies can get away with and not have to disclose what's actually in the fragrance. But like, for example, scented candles. Obviously, the big thing right now is deodorants. Everyone's looking for a good natural deodorant. Fabric softeners, detergents, room sprays, even trash bags, like obviously cleaning products for ladies, obviously makeup, shampoo, conditioners, all those things. But the big things I think that people don't realize is just a lot of the things that we just use that we don't even think about, like a room spray, I think was a good one. I saw that on a post and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so good. I didn't even think about that. So many people love candles, scented candles. They have that fragrance and stuff in it. And honestly, like a lot of articles have said that fragrance is the new secondhand smoke. Like 72% of fragranced products contain endocrine disruptors, as I said, called phthalates, or parabens, all of these things that are just, this is not stuff that we have discussed. Like, this is not things that people talk about. And without getting into conspiracy theories, because I do want to get into my journey and also how to help you start your journey, because that's really what this episode is about. So hang with me, because I just wanted people to kind of just like stop for a minute what they're doing and really be like, hey, this is a real problem. But I do want to give valuable information on how I did my journey and how valuable it was the way that I did it. So I want you guys to not feel so overwhelmed if you want to start this journey. But all of these things that are put in our products that we just don't, the older generations, they lived with all these products. However, new products are coming up and all these different things, and we have so much access to everything. And like I said, without getting into conspiracy theories, the big e-commerce, Amazon, and I won't even say Amazon is the messenger at this point, but you've got all these big companies that produce all these products, and they are making tons of money off of this. All these makeup lines and all these things that say that they're toxin free and they're fragrance free and all these different things, no parabens, no this, no that. And then you start to do some real research and you realize that, whoa, that's just like a marketing tactic. All this clean beauty trends that all these celebrities are promoting. It's like, it's not actually clean beauty if you really dig deep into it. So that being said, a big reason why I started my journey, which I am so extremely blessed, and I cannot say that enough, because I'm extremely grateful for it. But I didn't end up having all of these allergies and skin rashes or infertility issues, thank goodness, and all these different things that, my hormones weren't off. I wasn't having bad periods, any of that. But I started to listen to people around me and some influencers that I follow, and they were having those problems. And I was like, ooh, you know what though? Like, I'm just using like an eyeliner from CVS pharmacy. I should probably stop doing that, And I started taking into account all the little things that I use, and how many times I'm getting, slammed with all of these toxic products, or toxic ingredients in the products. The whole product isn't toxic, but just that they can add these things to your products. And I started really like digging deep into some of the things, and I was like, yeah, I should probably do some research and start changing things. Also, because in the future we want to start a family. I don't want to have fertility issues. Also, I don't want to deal in the future with autoimmune disorders, cancers, all that kind of stuff. And I do believe that the work that you do now in your 20s and 30s can really save you in your 50s and 60s and 70s and on, as you see our grandparents going through all of this, crazy stuff. And it's like, why all of a sudden do they have Alzheimer's? Why do they have this? Why do they have that? And there's lots of variables, obviously, but I do think that if we put the effort into really trying to limit how many like the EMF radiation and all these different things that we're attached to. Don't go crazy about it. Like you can't like live in a bubble. That's not what we're doing. But I definitely have seen some major just improvements in my life as I've made some of these changes slowly. So that being said, I also want to share with you how I did that and how I did it not just in a way that was very stress free, but also very cost effective. Because the first thing that I, thought of when I was listening to all of these, people around me that were changing products and doing research and all this stuff, I was like, first of all, how do I trust the product now? Because I feel like everything is lying to me. And then also when I would finally find something, it would be like 4 times the price of the, eyeliner at CVS that I was using. And I was like, oh my goodness, like now all of a sudden, and then I have to buy it online. So I can't just run to a Target and all these different things. So it really was changing kind of my habits of how I was buying things. And by doing it a little bit at a time, it really helped me to understand how to create a new habit around it. Because that's what it is. This is a lifestyle. This is not something that you're like, oh, I'm just going to stop using these products and I'm going to start using these products. It's like, no, no, no. Your products become who you are, what you smell like, what you use, how your morning routine is, how you clean your house on Sunday. Like it's all of these things. And so it's very, very important to understand that just like what we talk about in other episodes of the Recovering Perfectionist, of habit building and changing habits and habitual behavior. This is extreme habitual behavior. This is like when we say that 80% of our life is lived in habitual behavior, this is the part of the 80%. And so that's the hardest part to change, your morning routine with your skincare routine at night and all these different things. Like all of that is part of your part of this conversation. So I want to start by saying that obviously I started this journey by doing some research on my own. I didn't dive too deep into Google unless I was looking for something specific and I wanted to know more information about it. And I would just check 5, 6, 7 articles to cross-reference, and I would try to find the common thread between them. Because if you really do the research, you will find the common threads and you'll see that a lot of stuff is saying the same thing. So you can kind of get a baseline of whether or not this is a good product. I'm also a part of some fun groups on Facebook, which I think is always where the real people are because they got nothing to hide and people on the internet are always ready to tell you the real. And so like a lot of it, a lot of like moms, because they're really worried about, non-toxic products for their babies and all that stuff. So they've looked in like Jessica Alba's Honest Company and all these different things, and they're doing like real reviews on this stuff. And some of those products on those clean lines are good and some are not. So that's the crazy part too, is you can't even trust a full line. I know I was gravitating towards CeraVe, which is a great line, but there's something like I use their face wash and all these different things. And then my husband needed a lotion. I was like, oh, well, let's go to CeraVe. They've got great stuff. And their lotion, for whatever reason, all of a sudden they put fragrance in it and all these other different things because it has to last longer or it has to preserve in a certain way. A lot of these preservatives is what the bad things are. And their lotion is not good. So I didn't buy it. So always check, don't just trust the whole brand, like check each individual product, which can get a little tedious, but I do have a special secret trick for you that is going to make it 10 times easier that I'll share with you in a minute. So yeah, cross-referencing with obviously some influencers, and now influencers, obviously they're paid to and affiliates of some of these products. But if you find the ones that you followed for a while or ones that have had a lot of these problems, like fertility issues or allergies or all of these different things, then they will, I believe the ones I've followed have been ones that have really led me in the right direction, and I've cross-referenced their products and they are good, and I've started using them and I like them. So I will put, again, all of these links, all of this stuff I'm going to put in the show notes. So go dig in the show notes and you can start in that area. But again, don't just take my word for it. I'm just another person on this journey. I'm just trying to help you find some places to start looking to make your journey a little bit easier, because that's why my journey was a little bit more stress-free, is because I was able to follow some guidelines of people that had already kind of done the work for me. And then I could just find what was good for me, which was really nice. The customization of it is going to take you some time because we don't all use the same products, and we don't all like the same things in our products. But if you have a starting point from someone who's already done the research, that is extremely helpful and cuts the time in half. So that being said, my special secret trick is an app called Yucca. It is Yuka. And this is an app that, funny enough, I didn't even discover until like 6 months in to doing this journey. I was really following some influencers that I liked, and I was cross-referencing them on Google, and then I was looking at the ingredients. I mean, this is such an underrated thing as well. Guys, just turn over the bottles and just read the ingredients. Like, it can be scary sometimes because sometimes you see things in there and you're like, what is that? If you can't pronounce the ingredient that's in there, it's probably not the best thing for you. A lot of these new products I'm using a lot of them are European based. So that, again, they have different regulations in Europe. But also they're like water, oil, lavender. Like, they're things I know, and they're natural earthly things. It's not like ferrophosphates, dexiplax, like it's all these different things that we can't understand. Those are, preservatives, fragrances, things that are used, and not all of them. Again, not, blanket statement here, but a lot of the times if you can't understand something, it's usually the things at the bottom of the list, right? The thing that's the most in there is usually at the top, and it's usually those things that are like, if it says it's natural and clean, they're going to give you all those. And then at the bottom is when they tag you with the fragrance and the, benzoyl peroxide, whatever. And what else? Obviously, if you're still using something that has red 4 or red 5 in it or yellow, whatever, those are so bad. Like, we're done with that. That is out the door. But I did have one product that had red 5 in it, and I was like, oh my God, it went in the trash so fast. So this app I found about 6 months in to my journey. So I started cross-referencing. Again, it's all about cross-referencing. And I started scanning. What it does is, it's a free app. And it allows you it opens up a scanner like you would scan a QR code. So your camera opens up inside the app, and you scan the barcode on the back of the product. So when I go to anywhere, Target, Walgreens, whatever, you don't have to buy these products all online. Now, I will say a lot of the new products I bought and I use that I love, they are online products. And it's great. I buy a bulk order. I do Black Friday sales. I get them for the year, and then I stock up and we're good. So that's actually made my habits a little easier, because what I used to do is I would buy things just a couple months in advance, and then I'd run to Target and I'd stock up again, and then I'd run to Target. So this has been actually really cool. It's actually helped me to tweak the efficiency of how often I purchase products. And so I buy things more in bulk, knowing that I'm going to use it. And then I have it in stock, and then we're good to go. So you scan the barcode, and it will tell you from 0 to 100, what is the score on this product. Get ready. Buckle up, because some of these things are gonna shock you. And I started having my mom use it, and she scanned a mascara that she's been using for over 20 years. And it was a 0. Now, I don't want to scare you, because just to automatically start with a 0 product. A lot of things are in the 20s and the 40s, right, that are not good. And that's still a red zone. But she was like, oh my gosh, do you think maybe this is why my eyes are always so itchy? And I'm thinking, well, I'm not a doctor, but if 1 + 1 might equal 2, it's crazy when you start to really think about it. She's questioned her itchy eyes before, but she's never questioned the mascara. So just to start to get more information and make more educated decisions based around just stuff like this, and the knowledge that you can get is already will open your eyes. And then it starts to get a little less overwhelming when you start to scan things and be like, okay, now I know what I'm looking for. Now I know what I'm not looking for. So when you scan it, it'll give you a score. And I think it's anything above 50 or 60. I think it's like a red, yellow, and green. So I think anything above 60 is in the green zone. In the middle there's obviously yellow, and then anything below 40 is red. And what you do is then you look at the product that is highlighted in red. Why is it bad, right? So you look at it and then you read this long ingredient that you don't know what the word is, and then it tells you. You can click on it. You can then see what this product is. What does it do? Why is it bad for you, right? Based on just information that's out there. And then you can keep scrolling down. You can see all the other ingredients in it as well. It'll show you everything. And then you can scroll down and you can see brand new products that it recommends for you to replace this product. So that's really cool, because then you can go and find that product in the store, scan it. Again, cross-reference, because sometimes I've seen something that says this is a 95 and then I scan it, it's like a 85, which again, not that big of a deal, but still, always scan it. And then you go from there. So it has been kind of like a little game. My husband now and we walk in, he's like, can you scan this one? Can you scan this one? And it's been really, really cool. So now you've got your old products, right? And if you start to go through with this app, because this is a good place to start, download the app, start scanning all your products. And honestly, start with the things that are the most important, the things that you use every day, and also start with the things that you use close to your face. For ladies, a lot of things like the eye makeups, things that you're putting on your lips, face products, skincare, or any like wipes or anything that you're using, down there or anything like that. Like those are things that, like, when they're near places that are very sensitive, those are the things you want to start with. Or like I said, the things you use on the daily, because those are obviously like hitting you the most if they're really bad for you. And don't get me wrong, like when I first started this, I had makeup wipes I was using all the time. They were in the 30s. I had a face wash that was like close to zero. I mean, like all kinds of things. So don't stress about this. Like, it's not going to be pretty at the beginning, but you have more information now, and this app is going to help. So with that information now, you take some of these products, and what is the stuff that you're running out of? Because this is what made my journey so much easier and stress-free and much more cost-effective. Again, here, we're balling on a budget over here, right? We're not trying to spend, $600 to just completely overhaul our life at this moment. That was not where I was at, and that's not where I'm at right now either. So the idea is maybe just change one thing at a time. Change a category at a time. Maybe just start with skincare, then start with hair care, then start with makeup. But also, what are the things that you're almost out of? Instead of going and buying that same product again that you already know is bad, find something you're like, oh, the thing I'm out of next is my shampoo. I'm like right at the end and I'm about to go need some next week. So go start doing some research on shampoo. Start, scan yours, see what the app recommends. I will tell you all of the things that I'm using right now, and you can also go and cross-reference those and see if those might work for you. But like, see what's out there, see what exists. Go to Target, like have some fun with your app and just start scanning things and see if there's some products you like or you've heard of, and see what numbers they pop up. For me, this is, again, everyone's got their own preference. For me, I will not put anything on my face that's not over 80, especially near my eyes, probably not over 90. If it's not over 90, I won't put it near my eyes, like eyeliner, mascara, any of that. All my mascaras and stuff are now 100, which is amazing. I'm super happy, and I will give you that recommendation as well. But yeah, I mean, things in my hair and things like that, a lot of those things I now use, like they're either 90 or 100 at this point. But if I was still using old products and they were at least over 60 for my hair, I would use up the product and then I would buy my new one that was 90 or 100. And so that really, it didn't make me feel terrible. If it was a zero, I mean, I stopped using those makeup wipes right away, ladies and gentlemen, like deep in the trash they went. And my husband was even more so than me. He was like, forget about wasting money. Like, I'm throwing this stuff away. And I was like, well, okay, listen. Like, it's not going to kill you to use it up until the end for another few weeks. Just finish it and then we'll get you new stuff. And now all of his stuff is same thing, in the high 90s. But change one thing at a time. Don't freak out. Change things when they empty. So that's why at the beginning of this, I said this was a 1.5 year journey because I didn't finish things right away. Sometimes it took me a couple of months to finish some products. I didn't want to waste the money. I'd already purchased it. If I had some stock and it was, under my sink and I didn't use the product yet, I tried to return them and I was successful in a lot of that because it hadn't been opened and they didn't care. So I returned it to Target, Walmart, whatever. And then that helped the journey go faster. But don't try to do it all at once. That is like literally the motto of perfectionism that we're trying to, myth bust here is don't try to be perfect tomorrow. Like now you're like, oh, I'm on this journey. I'm excited. I've got the app. You start scanning everything. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to just overhaul everything. And then you get so overwhelmed and it's hard to keep this momentum going with your regular life and all these things. And it's expensive. And that's just where then you fall off the train and then you don't replace anything. And all of a sudden you're back where you started. So that is just not the answer to any new journey that you're on. And so just do it one thing at a time. Like you've already been using this product. So a couple more weeks, couple more months is not going to kill you. But obviously now that you know this information, it's really hard to be like, oh, I'm putting on this crappy lotion. But, again, that's personal preference. There was some stuff I threw away because I felt like, oh, okay, I can't keep using this. Like mentally, I'm just not in a good place. But then there was some stuff where I was like, hey, listen, like it is what it is. I'm going to keep using it till the end. I'm almost done. And then I'll buy my new great shampoo or conditioner or what have you. Yeah, changing one category at a time, cross-referencing, using the Yucca app, throw away your old products, buy some new ones, and start doing research on that. Also, I'm putting out this episode now because, ladies and gentlemen, next week is Black Friday, and then we have Cyber Monday, and we've got Christmas sales going on. So this is the time to stock up on all of your lovely things, all of your new products. This might be a good time to actually do a little haul if you have some things that you're looking for. But this is the time. This is when I stock up on all of my products if I need them. And I get things for 50% off sometimes. So it's pretty awesome. So I use two main things. I think also going back to the habitual behavior and changing your habits. I know a lot of people, so this wasn't me either. Skipping back, I think that this was one of the reasons why I was so blessed to not have some of these allergies and issues and red flags. But again, I started this journey because I was like, well, I'm blessed right now. I'm not going to wait till the red flags happen. And I think that's what some people do is they wait until the red flags happen. They wait till they're sick. And then they're like, oh, well, now I'm forced to make the change. If you're not having problems, don't wait. Do it now. Like start your 1.5 year journey or however long it takes you now, because you won't have those issues. You don't want to wait until you're sick to fix the problem, because then you're going to have to reverse the sickness. I didn't have to reverse any sickness. I was just able to move forward and know that like I started seeing changes in the sense of like just how I felt, but it was more of like an energy thing and less of a physical reaction because I didn't have allergies and all that stuff. So when I started doing this haul, I was like, I was very interested in minimizing my products, but also I wasn't someone who had like a long skincare routine. Like I have some friends that they're like, oh my gosh, I use like 6 different products on my face at night and I use like 7 different products on my face in the morning. And then I've got my whole makeup bag and God only knows what's in there. And, when they're in the shower, they've got all these different products. And I mean, the amount of things that they're just like throwing at their bodies is insane. So if you look at my products, I've never been really that girly girl that's like, oh, I need all the products. I actually tried to get a skincare routine going a couple years ago and it just didn't work. And I think the universe was like, yeah, this just isn't your journey. Um, Wash your face with soap and water and put some good lotion on for the night and moisturize and you're good to go. So I've kept that and that has helped me to when I did this new product overhaul, instead of going to Target or something like that, which is what I used to do, and just buy all these random little products from all these different brands that, again, some of them, not trustworthy because they're either cheap or they're just, like L'Oreal and Neutrogena, all these ones that, I mean, these are big, big brands. They are some of the worst. Actually, some of the ones that have all the commercials, those are the ones that are the worst products. And I would buy the Neutrogena wipes for my face. I would buy the L'Oreal face wash, all these different things. And now I have like two main brands, like big brands that I buy from, and they cover like 80% of the products I use, which is amazing because I really just do like a bulk order on their website. Again, Black Friday sales, try to stock up throughout the year, and then I'm good to go. And so then like I just have to fill in with like maybe a face wash here and there, or maybe like, some wipes, or I don't know, maybe a specific eye pencil that I like from this particular thing because it gives me this particular result. But essentially, I am got it down to is made my ordering more efficient. It's made my routines more efficient, and that is super cool. So that's something to look forward to is if you really do this right and hone in on what you're buying, you're going to see that there are only so many clean products out there, product lines that they are going to offer you everything because they want you to stick with them, but also they know that there isn't other stuff out there that's doing better. So when you find the clean ones, like you tend to just stick with them for everything that you use. And then, like I said, you buy the specialty products elsewhere and try to find clean stuff there. So my two big ones that I use, and these are both thanks to an influencer that I follow. Her name is Jordan Lee Dooley. Shout out to her, and I'll put her Instagram in the show notes as well. But one is a makeup line and kind of face wash-ish kind of thing. I don't really use a lot of their face wash. I found something else I liked. Again, customization. But their makeup stuff is fantastic, and it's called Crunchy, which crazy name, but it works. And so again, in the show notes, but I use their mascara, their eyeshadow, what else? Their foundation. That was a big thing. My foundation was crap, you guys. It was so, so bad. And I was putting it all over my face, in my eye creases, everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. So I have their foundation, their mascara, their eyeshadow. And I have two of their lotions actually, like an evening lotion moisturizer. And then I have like a clarifying lotion that I use in the morning to just, to give it a glow. And I love it. It smells so good. A lot of the stuff is used with lavender, which is one of my favorite scents. And I just am obsessed. It is so, so good. And so that is a makeup line I highly recommend. And everything is between 90 and 100. Actually, I think most of the stuff I use is just 100. When you look on the back of the products, like you can see what's in it. It is very obvious why it's 100. They're not using a lot of ingredients. It's all very natural things. And I love that. I did need to find like a concealer stick, just for like little spots. That was a little bit different. I ended up going with something that I found at a Sephora. Just went and scanned a bunch of stuff and found one that was in the 90s and loved that. That was the closest thing I could find. But foundation just doesn't do it sometimes. Sometimes you have a little extra things you need to cover, so I'll do the concealer stick. And then my other things that I needed to change really was my shampoo, conditioner, body wash, all that stuff, all that good stuff in the shower. That's all going in all the crevices and all the things and, in your scalp and in your brain and all these different things that I was like, oh, okay, I need to like really start, because the stuff I was using, guys, was really, really bad. I think it was another L'Oreal one, honestly. But I had been using it for years, probably a decade. And I had colored hair for a while, so I was using colored hair one. I mean, there was some red 5 in some of those. I mean, it was terrible. I was just like bewildered that I was still using this stuff. It was crazy, and not know. And that's the thing, is like we don't know that, they're not telling us that. So the shower product line, I guess, that I use, for lack of a better word, is Carina Organics, and they are a European brand. So a lot of it actually is in French, which I love, because I absolutely love going over to my wonderful country and buying products there. But again, I'm not going to find products there and then have them shipped from France, or have to buy them in bulk and bring them over every year. Like that just gets crazy. So I wanted to find a product line that shipped in the United States that wasn't, a crazy shipping cost. Just be warned, some of this stuff is a little bit more expensive. I used to pay, $2 for a little eye pencil at a CVS pharmacy. And the eye pencil, that I have now is like $18. So yeah, it's a little bit different. But I will tell you that I use less of it, in the sense of like a lot of my habits have changed in that regard. I don't wash my hair as often, so my shampoo lasts longer. I use a loofah, so my body wash lasts longer. And knowing that you have 100% clean products that have good ingredients in it. I mean, the back of these shampoo bottles that I have now, just all these ingredients, I know every word. All these things that I love, you can smell it in there. It smells so good with the lavenders and the mints and all these different, citrus. That's the fragrance they're using versus fragrance, and not knowing what fragrance is, all the parabens and things like that. And so that has been a game changer. Like peace of mind, honestly, like I will pay an extra $20 for that. Like it is worth it. And again, that's for me, who wasn't even having issues, versus someone who is forced to change it's like dietary restrictions. It's like eating better, but this is taking care of your body. It's the same thing. So those are the two main ones, and I'll put those in the show notes so you guys can kind of like do some research on that, because that really will cover, I would say, like 80% of your products. And they are fantastic brands. I will tell you, I'm not even giving you affiliate links. I should sign up as an affiliate for these brands. I have not even done that yet. I am just going to put their regular website, and you can see their Black Friday sales next week. But I am not even an affiliate for them. I just love them so much. That's why I'm pitching them. And that's also what I'm using. So I told you I would tell you what I'm using now. I don't believe we should gatekeep this information, because it took us so long to find it. So, yeah, and you can scan the app with the app, and it all scans really, really well. And it is the coolest thing. The hardest thing that's been for me, I will be honest with you, this has not all been smooth sailing, has been the cleaning products. A lot of stuff that has chlorine in it or alcohol will not scan on the app, because it doesn't understand how to detect it, or it doesn't, it's going to tell you it's bad, but also you need alcohol for certain things. So it's like, it doesn't really know how to categorize it. So we started changing over our laundry detergent when we ran out of the other one. We changed over. There's a bunch of different things. Seventh Generation has a good one. They have a good product line for a lot of that cleaning products and things. Same thing with like dish detergent, because again, all that residue of all those toxic ingredients go on your plates and cups, and then you drink and eat from them. But then, like I still use Windex, and I still use Lysol or Clorox wipes, to clean my countertops. And you can't be perfect. Like a lot of people, I've been talking to some of these clean brand beauty influencers, and they're like, yeah, I mean, I still use regular nail polish. It's like some people are like, oh, well, nail polish is really toxic. I mean, and some people get their pedicures done and the gel and all that stuff. And it's like, you know what? Think about all the things you were using, to just have maybe a couple little things here and there. And again, maybe over the years I'll find a better solution, but right now that's not my top priority. It's not something that's keeping me up at night. The mascaras and the stuff that was on my face and the body washes were definitely like things I started first, because they were the things that I felt would affect my health the most, yeah, the most. And so I definitely wanted to change those as fast as possible. But yeah, the amount of times that I, clean the house couple times a month, really do a deep clean, like I don't think that's changing my life right now to try to find a clean product line. But eventually that is the goal. Yeah, because once you get into it, guys, down the rabbit hole, like I've now found a clean toilet paper brand that I was like, oh, who cares? And then I started seeing what was in toilet paper that I was buying at Costco, and I was like, oh, God. And I found one that delivers right to my house, and it was basically the same price as Costco. And I was like, okay, I can make that switch. That's not too bad. So, like, again, weighing the pros and cons. If it's an easy switch to make, and some of these clean brands, they're making it really easy, subscription based, cancel anytime. Like, it's not, they are trying to make it easier. And I appreciate that because that has made my journey much easier. So, that being said, I I've been wanting to do an episode like this for a while, and I actually wanted to bring one of the clean beauty influencers on here and do it. But I thought, that's going to get a little bit tricky because then I'm going to basically be interviewing this person and I'm going to be talking to them about what they recommend and their journey and all this stuff, which is fine. But I really feel like my audience and I have this relationship, and I do my updates at the beginning of every season and my wrap ups at the end of every season. And I really feel like for me, it was important for you to hear it from my mouth why this journey was important for me to do, especially because I didn't have as many issues. And that being said, if you are having issues, if you are having, gut issues, if you're having rashes on your body, if, dry skins, dry scalps, allergies, your allergies are really ramping up, like, oh, they've gotten so much worse and da 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 da. We can blame all we want on environment, which I'm not against either, but when are we going to look at what we're actually using and the products that we use and how that is really not good? And so those would be the first places I would go to instead of going and getting an allergy test from a doctor. Like, start changing your products and see what kind of effect that makes. I think you're going to realize you're going to kind of get out of this hazy cloud, and it's going to make a huge difference in your life. And if you're married, like, again, my husband didn't really have a choice. But also, when I started to show him the data and started to show him the facts, he was like, oh, okay. Like, he doesn't care what lotion he uses as long as it does the job. And, when we do have a family, like baby stuff and, people who are living in your house, that things are around you, like those are the things that, make the biggest difference. And all of these different lotions and stuff that, now I don't even think about just buying something at a random Target or CVS. I go and I do my research. If I need a new product, I go and do my research and I figure out what I need. I scan it on my Yucca app and I see what it does and I see what's in it. Because looking at the back of the bottle is good and it's a great start. But when you scan the app, it'll tell you this is the red flag ingredient, which we may not have picked out from the start because we don't know what those ingredients are. And it'll tell you why it's bad. And then it'll give you some alternatives. And let me tell you something, having that app do the work for me has made my journey so much less stressful. And it has been a game changer. So I hope that this has been beneficial for you, especially just to hear it. Just like I said, on the real, like I'm not affiliated with any of these products. I'm not trying to sell these products to you. I'm not trying to tell you that you have to do this journey. I'm saying if you're having issues, if you're having, health concerns and you're not able to figure out what's wrong, start with what you're using on a daily basis. That will change your life. And I also wanted this to be for those who are not even having issues like me at the beginning, that it's like, if you're planning on having a family in the future, if you're planning on, getting older gracefully and not trying to have all these autoimmune problems and cancers and Alzheimer's, like that is what's causing a lot of this, Teflon's on the pans. Like, again, we changed all of our pans over to stainless steel. It's just, there's so many layers to what is being put everywhere. And again, you go cook, you put on your makeup, you then clean the house, all of these things, like you've probably been hit throughout the day with, 10 to 12 different things that are disrupting all of your hormones and your guts and all these things. And so the less you can have those things bombard you, the better. So again, the moral of the story here, it's not about being perfect. I am far from that. My journey, I have transitioned over so many of my products in the last year and a half, and I feel like I am really I would say 85% clean in my life. I still use nail polish. I still use the Windex. I still, these are the things that I just haven't gotten around to changing yet. And it's okay. It's okay. I feel so much better about where I'm at and what I'm doing. And I feel better about, my family and where we're going with all these things, and the new information that I have that I'm able to make better and more educated and wise decisions for my future and my health. So if you have any questions, obviously I'm always here to help. DM me on Instagram. All of the information is in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed this episode and it gave you some clarity and some direction on how to start this journey if this is something that feels aligned for you. And I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Recovering Perfectionist Podcast. I'm Christine, and if this episode resonated with you or spoke to you in any way, please feel free to share. I absolutely love hearing from you guys and your thoughts about the topics based on your experiences. And also, if there's anything you want me to talk about, just screenshot this episode and share it on social media with your comments. Your feedback really helps me to curate episodes that best serve you. If you have time, I would greatly appreciate if you could leave a review wherever you're listening to this episode, whether on Apple or Spotify or any other platform. I'm wishing you a blessed week ahead, and remember, perfection doesn't exist. Take messy action. Healthy habits keep us balanced, and you are enough.